The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical and fragile choke points on Earth, a narrow stretch of water that quietly carries the weight of the global economy. Every day, nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through this slender corridor, flowing from the oil-rich nations of the Persian Gulf toward markets in Asia, Europe, and beyond. It is a place where geography, politics, and power collide, shaping the lives of billions of people who may never even hear its name. At its narrowest point, the strait is just about 33 kilometers wide, yet within that space lies one of the most heavily trafficked shipping lanes in the world. Massive oil tankers, some stretching longer than 3 football fields, move slowly through designated channels that are only a few kilometers wide in each direction. These vessels carry crude oil from countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates, making the strait an indispensable artery of global energy. But what makes the Strait of Hormuz so fragile is not just its narrow geography. It is also the intense political tension that surrounds it. On one side lies Iran, a regional power with a long and complex history of conflict and rivalry. On the other side are the Gulf states, many of which are closely aligned with Western nations. This proximity has turned the strait into a geopolitical pressure point, where even minor incidents can ripple across the world. The importance of this waterway became especially clear during moments of crisis. In the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, the strait became the center of what was known as the tanker war. Both sides targeted oil shipments in an attempt to weaken each other's economies. Tankers were attacked, mines were laid in the water, and global oil prices surged as uncertainty gripped international markets. It was a stark reminder that disruption in this narrow channel could send shockwaves far beyond the region. Even today, tensions remain high. Naval vessels patrol the waters, and military bases dot the surrounding coastlines. The United States and its allies maintain a significant presence in the region, aiming to ensure the free flow of commerce. Meanwhile, Iran has repeatedly asserted its influence over the strait, at times threatening to close it in response to economic sanctions or political pressure. These threats are rarely carried out, but they are enough to keep global markets on edge. The stakes are enormous. If the Strait of Hormuz were to be blocked, even temporarily, the consequences would be immediate and far-reaching. Oil prices would likely spike dramatically, affecting everything from transportation costs to the price of food. Countries heavily dependent on imported energy, such as Japan, South Korea, and India, would feel the impact almost instantly. For many economies, the disruption could trigger inflation, slow growth, and even recession. Despite these risks, there are few viable alternatives to the strait. Some countries have invested in pipelines that bypass the waterway, transporting oil directly to ports outside the Gulf. Saudi Arabia, for example, operates pipelines that can carry oil to the Red Sea, while the United Arab Emirates has developed routes that avoid the strait entirely. However, these alternatives can only handle a fraction of the total volume that passes through Hormuz each day. The strait is not just about oil. It is also a vital route for liquefied natural gas, particularly from Qatar, one of the world's leading exporters. This makes the waterway even more critical in a world increasingly reliant on natural gas as a transitional energy source. Any disruption here would not only affect oil markets but also energy supplies more broadly, adding another layer of complexity to an already fragile system. Yet, beyond the headlines and statistics, the Strait of Hormuz is also a place of human activity and daily life. Fishermen navigate its waters in small boats, often sharing space with giant tankers. Coastal communities rely on the sea for their livelihoods, even as they live under the constant shadow of geopolitical tension. For them, the strait is not just a strategic asset, it is home. Technology plays a crucial role in managing the risks associated with this vital corridor. Advanced navigation systems help guide ships safely through the narrow channels, while surveillance systems monitor activity across the region. Drones, satellites, and radar installations provide real-time data, allowing authorities to respond quickly to potential threats. These tools are essential in maintaining stability, but they cannot eliminate the underlying tensions that make the strait so volatile. Environmental concerns add yet another layer of vulnerability. The heavy traffic of oil tankers increases the risk of spills, which could have devastating effects on marine ecosystems. The waters of the Gulf are already under stress from pollution and rising temperatures, and a major accident in the strait could cause long-lasting damage. Protecting this environment is a challenge that requires cooperation, even among nations that may not always see eye to eye. As the world gradually shifts toward renewable energy, some might assume that the importance of the Strait of Hormuz will diminish. While it is true that the global energy landscape is evolving, oil and gas remain central to the world economy for the foreseeable future. The transition to cleaner energy sources is a slow and complex process, and during this time, the strait will continue to play a crucial role. In many ways, the Strait of Hormuz is a reflection of the modern world itself. It is interconnected, fragile, and deeply influenced by both natural and human forces. A single event in this narrow passage can have consequences that echo across continents, affecting industries, governments, and everyday lives. Understanding the strait means understanding the delicate balance that keeps the global economy moving. It is a place where cooperation and conflict exist side by side, where the flow of energy depends not only on infrastructure but also on diplomacy and restraint. As ships continue to pass through its waters, the Strait of Hormuz remains both a lifeline and a potential flashpoint. Its significance cannot be overstated, and its future will be shaped by the decisions made by nations far and wide. In a world that depends so heavily on the steady flow of energy, this narrow corridor stands as one of the most important, and most vulnerable, places on the planet.